20 of the most disturbing images on the internet, each more chilling than the previous one, capturing the most haunting visuals ever seen. From the two-headed dog to the mysterious Amityville ghost boy, each layer descends into darker, more chilling tales, unraveling the stories behind these infamous images that have captivated and terrified the world. Michael Rockefeller's death by cannibalism. The image captures a moment that's both ordinary and eerie, featuring Michael Rockefeller on his inaugural journey to Papua New Guinea in 1960. Situated at the heart of the photograph, Michael's expression is one of casual ease, his smiling belying the horrifying twist his story would later take. Surrounded by the lush, dense jungles of Papua New Guinea, he stands amidst the Asmat people, known for their starkly contrasting traditions, including cannibalistic practices. This photo, with its deceptive tranquility, offers no hint of the grim fate that awaited Michael. The son of then New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller, Michael's disappearance in the early 1960s remains one of the most chilling mysteries of the 20th century. The prevailing belief is that he met a violent end at the hands of the Asmat, a group with a fearsome reputation for beheading their enemies and partaking in cannibalism. Venturing into one of the most remote and uncharted parts of the world, Michael disappeared under circumstances that are as shocking as they are tragic. After his boat capsized, he made a fateful decision to swim to shore, a decision that would lead him into the heart of darkness. What is believed to have happened next is the stuff of nightmares. The Asmat people, among whom Michael was last seen, had a fearsome reputation not just for their headhunting practices, but also for cannibalism. According to various accounts and investigations, it is widely believed that Michael was captured, killed, and then subjected to rituals that are almost too horrific to contemplate. His body was reportedly dismembered, parts of it consumed in a ritualistic act that was part of the Asmat's belief system and a way of honoring their enemies. The stark contrast in the image, Michael's light-hearted demeanor against the backdrop of a culture profoundly different from his own, adds a layer of foreboding to the snapshot in time. This image of Michael smiling and seemingly at ease among the Asmat becomes even more haunting with the knowledge of the gruesome customs that might have marked his final moments. 4 children for sale. The next image is as heart-wrenching as it is shocking, shedding light on a dark chapter of history where poverty pushed a family to the brink of despair. The photo, dating back to 1948, captures a moment of sheer desperation faced by Mr. and Mrs. Ray Chalifo, a couple teetering on the edge of eviction from their modest Chicago apartment. In this grim snapshot of reality, the Chalifo couple, with no means to fend off their financial woes, resorted to a decision that is almost unimaginable today: selling their own children. The sign, 4 children for sale, chillingly foregrounds the image of Mrs. Chalifo standing as a somber figure behind it, her expression a mix of defeat and sorrow. The children, Lena, Ray, Milton, and Sue Ellen, are positioned around their mother, their young faces reflecting a spectrum of emotions from confusion to outright despair. Lena, the eldest, seems to hold a protective stance over her younger siblings, a silent guardian amidst the turmoil. The younger ones, Ray, Milton, and Sue Ellen, wear their innocence on their sleeves, largely oblivious to the gravity of their situation, yet visibly affected by the tension. While some family members later claimed the photo was staged, the stark reality remains that within 2 years, these children were indeed sold to different families. This fact alone casts a long, dark shadow over the authenticity of their mother's intentions. The subsequent fate of the children adds a layer of tragedy to the tale, as they were known to have suffered abuse at the hands of their new families. The Wyoming incident. Imagine you're cozy at home, flipping through TV channels when suddenly the screen flickers and distorts, plunging you into the heart of one of the most bizarre mysteries of the digital age, the Wyoming incident. This eerie phenomenon revolves around alleged screenshots from an enigmatic broadcast hijacking where viewers were subjected to a series of deeply unsettling images and audio anomalies that seemed to leap straight out of a nightmare. The incident purportedly took place in a small town in Wyoming where local TV broadcasts were abruptly overridden by a signal of unknown origin. The hijacked content, a series of black and white images, each more disturbing than the last, displaying contorted faces and figures that seemed to twist the very fabric of reality. These haunting visuals were accompanied by a cacophony of audio distortions, including a droning tone and disembodied voices uttering cryptic messages, reportedly inducing headaches, nausea, and psychological distress among some viewers. But what truly sets the Wyoming incident apart is the mystery surrounding its origins. To this day, no one knows who was behind this chilling broadcast intrusion or what their motives might have been. The images displayed during the hijacking were not just random or chaotic, they were meticulously crafted to disorient and disturb, leading to widespread speculation about the intent behind the psychological assault. The most infamous of these images is perhaps the one showing a series of distorted faces, their features stretched and twisted into grotesque caricatures of human expressions. These faces, devoid of any emotion yet eerily expressive, seem to stare directly into the soul, challenging the viewer to look away, yet compelling them to watch. Accompanying these visuals was a series of unsettling phrases, like, "You will see such pretty things," adding a layer of ominous foreboding to the already disturbing presentation. The Wyoming incident remains a subject of intense fascination and speculation within online communities, with theories ranging from a sophisticated prank to a government experiment gone awry. The lack of concrete information and the anonymous nature of the broadcast have only fueled the fire of intrigue, making it a perfect subject for those who delve into the mysteries of the unknown. This broadcast hijacking stands as a stark reminder of the power of media to influence and unsettle, tapping into primal fears and the unease that comes from the unexpected invasion of our private spaces. The Wyoming incident is not just a tale of a mysterious broadcast, it's a dive into the unknown. The grifter. In the shadowy corners of the internet, a figure looms that has chilled the blood of those who've dared to look upon it. The grifter. This disturbing image captures a masked entity, its features grotesquely exaggerated, as if mocking the very notion of humanity. The figure's eyes, hollow and deep-set, seem to pierce through the screen, while a sinister grin stretches impossibly wide, hinting at unspeakable horrors. The grifter is not just a mere image, it is the centerpiece of a viral hoax that swept across online forums and communities, igniting a firestorm of fear and fascination. According to the law, this image is tied to a video of the same name, said to contain footage so disturbing, so utterly unnerving, that it could drive viewers to the brink of insanity. Rumors swirled of its association with a shadowy cult, whose rituals and intentions were as mysterious as the figure itself. The origins of the grifter are as mysterious as the image is disturbing. It first appeared amidst the digital chaos of message boards and chat rooms, quickly gaining notoriety as tales of its effects spread like wildfire. Descriptions of the video mentioned eerie sounds, disjointed figures, and a feeling of overwhelming dread that lingered long after the screen went dark. The masked figure, with its exaggerated haunting features, became a symbol of this digital Pandora's box, a representation of the unknown terrors that lurk in the unseen corners of the web. Despite its fictitious origins, the impact of the grifter was undeniably real. The image tapped into a primal fear. It played on the human fascination with the allure of forbidden knowledge and the thrill of confronting our darkest nightmares. The grifter became more than just an image. It was a test of courage, a challenge to face the abyss and question what lies beyond the veil of the unknown. It serves as a modern-day ghost story, a digital legend that blurs the line between reality and fiction, leaving those who encounter it to wonder, what is it about a picture that can drive you to madness? Slender Man. Emerging from the shadows of the digital age, Slender Man stands as a towering, ominous figure that has seeped into the nightmares of many. This faceless entity, clad in a black suit, is often depicted lurking in the background of photographs, its elongated limbs and lack of features adding to its eerie visage. Slender Man is not just an image, it's a phenomenon that has ignited a cultural obsession, weaving itself into the fabric of modern urban legends and horror stories. The genesis of Slender Man can be traced back to an online forum in 2009 where users were challenged to create paranormal images. It was here that Slender Man was born, the brainchild of Eric Knudsen. Knudsen's creation was accompanied by faux historical backstories, adding layers of depth and intrigue to the character. These initial images depicted Slender Man as a silent stalker, a predator of children, and a figure that could manipulate reality itself. What sets Slender Man apart is its rapid evolution from a forum post to a global phenomenon. The character quickly transcended its origins, becoming the subject of myriad stories, games, and videos. Each iteration added to the mythos, portraying Slender Man as a malevolent force capable of teleportation, mind control, and inducing a state of paralyzing fear known as Slender Sickness. The character became a canvas for collective fears, a modern boogeyman that embodies the anxiety of the unknown. Its presence in photographs serves as a chilling reminder of its ability to insert itself into the lives of the unsuspecting, always watching from a distance, its intentions as inscrutable as its featureless face. The allure of Slender Man lies in its ambiguity. It is a shapeshifter, a blank slate upon which countless narratives have been projected. This enigmatic figure taps into primal fears, the fear of being followed, of being snatched away, of facing something beyond human comprehension. The Human Dolls of Anatoly Moskvin. Diving a layer deeper in the chilling world of internet horror, few images strike as deep and as terrifying a chord as that of the Human Dolls of Anatoly Moskvin. The case of Anatoly Moskvin is as chilling as it is unbelievable, weaving a narrative that reads more like a horror story than a real-life event. Moskvin, a Russian academic with an encyclopedic knowledge of cemeteries, harbored a dark secret behind his scholarly pursuits. For years, he engaged in a gruesome hobby that went undetected, using the dead to create life-size dolls. These weren't ordinary dolls, they were mummified corpses dressed and adorned to mimic the living. Moskvin's house, once a place of scholarly clutter, transformed into a macabre gallery of the dead. Each doll, with its own grotesque semblance of individuality, was a testament to Moskvin's twisted craftsmanship and his disturbing inability to distinguish between the living and the deceased. The details of his obsession are horrifying. Moskvin didn't just preserve these bodies, he interacted with them as if they were alive, going so far as to write about his affectionate encounters with them. One chilling account mentions him kissing a doll made from the corpse of an 11-year-old girl, repeatedly, blurring the lines between affection and necrophilia in the most disturbing way possible. The doll made from the corpse of the 11-year-old girl stands out as one of the most harrowing aspects of Anatoly Moskvin's grotesque collection. This particular doll, a transformation of a once living child, was not merely a mummified body adorned with clothes. Moskvin's meticulous attention to detail meant that the doll bore an eerie, lifelike appearance. Moskvin didn't stop at clothing. He also applied makeup to the girl's face, crafting a visual that mimicked life, rosy cheeks and lips that starkly contrasted with the reality of death beneath. The doll's eyes, once windows to a soul, were replaced with glassy doll-like eyes, creating an illusion of life where there was none. The emotional impact of this doll is intensified by Moskvin's own writings, where he disturbingly recounts his interactions with it. "I kissed her once, then again," Moskvin wrote, revealing a chilling affection for the doll that blurs the lines between delusion and derangement. This doll, among others, was a silent witness to Moskvin's twisted reality, where the dead served as his companions in a twisted mimicry of human relationships. The discovery of 26 other mummified bodies in Moskvin's home in 2011 sent shockwaves through Nizhny Novgorod and the world. The extent of his desecration, the number of graves violated, and the duration over which his heinous activities continued undetected paint a grim picture of a man lost in his delusions, treating the dead as his companions and lovers. Momo. The Momo Challenge image, a horrifying visage that took the internet by storm, features a grotesque sculpture of a woman with exaggerated and disturbing features, bulging eyes that seem to stare into your very soul, and a wide, unnatural grin that stretches across her face in a sinister smirk. This image became the face of a notorious online phenomenon known as the Momo Challenge, a sinister game that allegedly encouraged self-harm and dangerous tasks through social media and messaging platforms. Originating from a sculpture created by a Japanese artist Keisuke Aisawa for the special effects company Link Factory, the figure was initially intended to represent a supernatural being, part of a 2016 gallery exhibit in Tokyo. With its bird-like lower body and haunting human-like upper torso, the sculpture was unsettling in its own right, but its association with the Momo Challenge imbued it with a new level of terror. The Momo Challenge involved an anonymous provocateur sending messages to participants, urging them to complete a series of increasingly risky and harmful tasks, culminating in a final deadly challenge. The image of Momo, with its grotesque features, became synonymous with this dangerous game, its wide eyes and eerie smile becoming a symbol of fear and manipulation in the digital age. The spread of the Momo challenge was rapid and alarming, reports of the challenge reaching global proportions. Panic ensued as news outlets and concerned citizens reported incidents of young and impressionable individuals being drawn into the challenge, facing psychological distress and in some extreme cases engaging in self-harm. The image of Momo, once just a piece of sculpture, had become a digital boogeyman, weaving itself into the fabric of online law and sparking a worldwide frenzy. Critics and experts have debated the extent of the challenge's impact, with some suggesting that the phenomenon was more of a moral panic fueled by media coverage than a widespread threat. Nevertheless, the very idea of the Momo challenge, coupled with the haunting image of the sculpture, tapped into parental fears about the safety of children online, the dark underbelly of internet culture where anyone can make you do anything. The trophy heads of the Maori. The Maori tradition of preserving trophy heads, known as mokamokai, is a practice steeped in both reverence and brutality, stark testament to the complexities of human culture and conflict. Long before European colonizers set foot on New Zealand's shores, the Maori had been engaging in the meticulous process of preserving the severed heads of their fallen enemies. These heads were not merely severed, they underwent a rigorous preservation process involving boiling, smoking, sun-drying, and an application of shark oil, ensuring their endurance as both trophies and symbols of victory. The arrival of British colonizers in the 1840s marked a dark turn in the fate of these mokamokai. What was once a deeply cultural and spiritual practice for the Maori became a target for pillage. British soldiers, fascinated by these preserved heads, began to collect them as souvenirs, stripping them of their cultural significance and reducing them to mere objects of curiosity and horror. Major General Horatio Gordon Robley, featured in a particularly unsettling image surrounded by his collection of mokamokai, epitomizes this grim chapter of colonial greed and cultural desecration. Robley, who served in the British Army during the New Zealand land wars in the 1860s, amassed at least 35 of these heads, driven by a morbid fascination with the Maori tradition. His collection, chilling array of human remains, serves as a haunting reminder of the dehumanizing effects of colonialism and the commodification of indigenous cultures. The Chernobyl Liquidators. Immerse yourself in the harrowing world of the Chernobyl liquidators, the brave souls who faced the invisible enemy of radiation in the wake of one of history's worst nuclear disasters. The disturbing images capturing these heroes are not merely photographs, they are vivid testaments to human resilience. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster on April 26, 1986, thousands of workers known as liquidators were mobilized to manage the catastrophe's lethal consequences. Images of these individuals, clad in rudimentary protective gear, reveal the stark and hazardous conditions under which they labored. They were soldiers, firefighters, engineers, and volunteers, each stepping into a Malin's scene of devastation, their faces etched with determination and the burden of their monumental task. However, all of them lay unaware of their dark fate ahead. These haunting photographs showcase liquidators working amidst the ruins of the reactor, shoveling radioactive debris and undertaking the task of decontamination. Each frame tells a story of the extreme peril these individuals faced, battling an enemy that could not be seen or felt until its effects were irreversible. The haunting gaze of a liquidator, the exhaustion on the faces of men knowing they are in the midst of an invisible death zone, and the desolation of the surrounding wasteland create a narrative of courage in the face of certain danger. These disturbing images show the inevitable dark fate to the workers lying ahead of them as they remain oblivious and continue working. The images also serve as a stark reminder of the physical and psychological toll on the liquidators. Many suffered from acute radiation sickness, and the long-term effects led to chronic health issues and a significantly shortened lifespan for countless others. The photographs capture not only the immediate aftermath but also hint at the lingering shadow of Chernobyl that would follow these individuals for the rest of their lives. Soviet scientist and his two-headed dog. In a chilling chapter of scientific experimentation, Soviet scientist Vladimir Demikov pushed the boundaries of medical science and ethics with his creation of a two-headed dog in 1959. This experiment, which seems more like a scene from a horror story than a scientific endeavor, involved the grafting of one dog's head onto the body of another, resulting in a living, breathing creature with two heads. Demikov's work was groundbreaking yet horrifying. It took him 23 attempts. each ending in the death of the subject before he achieved a modicum of success. The procedure was as gruesome as it was revolutionary. He sewed together the circulatory systems of the two dogs and connected their vertebrae using plastic strings. Remarkably, the two-headed dog was able to hear, see, smell, and swallow, testament to Demikov's surgical skills, however morbid the context. Yet the triumph was short-lived. The two-headed creature survived for only 4 days, poignant reminder of the experiment's crude and cruel nature. Demikov's work, while pioneering in the field of head transplantation and organ grafting, remains a subject of intense ethical debate. The image of the two-headed dog with its dual set of eyes, ears, and noses is a shocking visual that underscores the fine line between scientific innovation and ethical transgression. Skinwalker sightings. Are you prepared to go deeper into these disturbing images? There exists a creature so strange and chilling, it makes your heart race just hearing about it. That's exactly what people say when they talk about skinwalker sightings. These creatures come from old Native American stories and are known for a scary ability. They can change shape into almost anything they want. The photos and drawings out there are enough to give anyone goosebumps. They show weird figures that look like they're half human, half animal, lurking in the shadows. Skinwalkers are part of Navajo legends. They're said to be witches who've gone to the dark side, using their magic to turn into terrifying beings. When you see pictures of them, it's like looking at something from a bad dream. There's often a figure that doesn't look right, with eyes that glow in a way that seems impossible. These pictures usually come from quiet, empty places in the American Southwest, adding to the spooky vibe. People who've said they've seen a skinwalker talk about feeling a cold fear, like something's watching them from a place they can't see. The photos and sketches capture this eerie feeling. The figures in them seem to almost move, hiding their true selves. But it's not just the creepy pictures that get to people. Some say that after they've seen an image of a skinwalker, they can't shake off a feeling of being followed, or they start having nightmares. Some even think that bad luck that comes after seeing a skinwalker picture is no accident. The 25-year captivity of Blanche Monnier. The story of Blanche Monnier is a harrowing tale of unimaginable confinement and cruelty that unfolded in the quiet city of Poitiers, France. In 1901, when French authorities acted on an anonymous tip about a woman being held captive in an aristocratic household, they stumbled upon a scene that was as shocking as it was pitiful. The case of Blanche Monnier is not just shocking due to the duration of her captivity, but also because of the horrifying conditions in which she was found and the societal status of her captor. The room where Blanche was kept for 25 years was a hellish cell devoid of light, filled with the stench of decay and human waste. The discovery revealed Blanche in a state of unimaginable neglect. Her body was emaciated, her skin adhered to her bones, and her surroundings were a testament to the inhumanity she endured. The shocking details extend to the reason behind her prolonged imprisonment. It was reported that Blanche's mother confined her to the attic because Blanche had fallen in love with a lawyer who did not meet the family's aristocratic standards. Rather than allow her daughter to marry below her class, Madame Monnier chose to erase her from the world, locking her away from sight and society. Upon her discovery, Blanche was unable to see properly after years in darkness, and her mental state had deteriorated due to the prolonged isolation and abuse. The social standing of the Monnier family made the case even more scandalous, as it peeled back the veneer of respectability to reveal a dark, twisted reality within a seemingly distinguished household. The aftermath of Blanche's rescue was as tumultuous as her captivity. Her mother was arrested but died shortly after, possibly due to the stress of the situation. The broader community was left reeling, confronted with the grim realization that such atrocities could occur in their midst, carried out by one of their own esteemed families. The case of Blanche Monnier serves as a grim reminder of the depths of human depravity and the hidden horrors that can exist behind closed doors, even in the most respectable of homes and seemingly normal households. The Black Stick Man. Get ready for a spine-chilling tale that's been buzzing around the internet and spooking folks far and wide. The story of the Black Stick Man. This isn't your ordinary shadow or trick of the light. We're talking about freaky, shadowy figures that look like stickmen come to life, with super long arms and legs that just don't seem natural. These eerie figures first popped up in whispers and rumors online, with folks sharing images and tales of their encounters with these slender, shadow-like beings. Some say they've seen them out of the corner of their eye, lurking in dark alleys or empty streets late at night. Others claim these black stickmen have appeared right in their homes, standing tall and silent in a room's corner, disappearing as soon as you try to take a closer look. What's super weird about these sightings is how the black stickman doesn't seem to follow any rules of our world. They're like glitches in reality, moving in jerky, unnatural ways that can make your heart jump. People who've caught a glimpse of them describe feeling a sudden chill, an unshakable sense of being watched, and sometimes even a heavy dread that sticks around long after the figure has vanished. The origins of these spooky stickmen are a total mystery. Some think they're beings from another dimension, slipping into our world through cracks we can't see. Others reckon they're spirits or omens, warning of something bad about to happen. But no matter where they come from, one thing's for sure: the tales of the Black Stick Man have grabbed folks' imaginations, turning these shadowy figures into the stuff of modern urban legends. When people share pictures or drawings of these Black Stick Men, it's not just the images that give you the creeps, it's the stories that come with them. Every new sighting adds another piece to the puzzle, making the legend of the Black Stick Man grow bigger and spookier. So next time you're walking home in the dark or hanging out in a dimly lit room, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when one of these tall, shadowy figures might pop up, turning an ordinary moment into an encounter with the unexplained. And even though they might just vanish in the blink of an eye, the memory of a run-in with a Black Stick Man is sure to stick with you, sending shivers down your spine every time you think about it. The Bunny Man. You're walking down a quiet, dark road when suddenly out of the shadows emerges a figure dressed in a bunny costume, axe in hand. Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, right? Well, welcome to the chilling tale of the Bunny Man, a creepy legend that's been freaking out folks in Virginia for years. This eerie story started making rounds back in the 1970s when reports surfaced of a man dressed in a bunny suit threatening people with an axe in Fairfax County, Virginia. The most famous incidents involved the Bunny Man yelling at people for trespassing, even going as far as to smash windows with his axe, all while dressed in his bizarre rabbit costume. The images and sketches that have come out of these encounters are nothing short of nightmare fuel. A dark, deserted road and an imposing figure in a fluffy bunny suit, but instead of a basket of Easter eggs, he's holding a sharp, menacing axe. It's the kind of image that sticks with you, turning every shadow into a potential hiding spot for the sinister character. What makes the Bunny Man legend so gripping isn't just the odd mix of a bunny costume and violent behavior. It's the mystery that shrouds his true identity and motives. Was he a deranged individual, a ghost, or just a tale spun out of control? The uncertainty adds an extra layer of terror to the already disturbing image of a bunny-suited maniac. Over the years, the story of the Bunny Man has evolved, with different versions adding their own twists and turns. Some say he was an escaped mental patient, others that he's the vengeful spirit of a man wronged long ago. But no matter the version, the core image remains the same: a figure in a bunny suit lurking in the darkness, axe ready. The Bunny Man might sound like a bizarre, almost comical figure, but there's no denying the chill that runs down your spine when you imagine encountering him on a lonely, moonlit road. His image, a twisted blend of the innocuous and the terrifying, continues to haunt the collective imagination, turning a simple bunny suit into an emblem of fear. Hold on tight now, because we're about to go a level deeper into this iceberg that'll leave you with chills and deeply unsettled. Just don't forget to hit subscribe. You don't want to miss out on what comes next. The Rake. This is a picture that's as creepy as they come, about a creature known as the Rake. This thing isn't your average bump in the night. It's described as a hairless humanoid figure, but with a twist that'll send shivers down your spine. Its skin is pale, almost sickly, and it's got these wild, disturbing features that look nothing like anything you'd seen on a human. The Rake first crept into the scene through whispers on the internet, becoming one of those urban legends that stick with you long after you've heard it. People started sharing their so-called encounters with this creature, talking about how it would appear at the foot of their beds or outside their windows in the dead of night. Imagine waking up to find something like that staring back at you. Not exactly a pleasant thought, right? What sets the Rake apart from other creatures of the night are the stories about its eyes. They're often described as too big for its face, glowing in the dark like some sort of predator, and its hands are something out of a nightmare, too long and ending in claws that don't seem meant for this world. The origins of the Rake are a bit of a mystery, tangled up in internet lore and countless creepypasta stories. Some say it's an ancient being, while others think it's a product of some twisted experiment gone wrong. But no matter where it came from, the image of the rake has been burned into the minds of those who've heard the tales. People who claim to have seen pictures of it talk about feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. There are stories of folks being left with a constant feeling of being watched, lying awake at night, wondering if the rake might be lurking just outside their field of view. Black-eyed children sightings. Have you ever heard about black-eyed children? It's a story that's as chilling as they come, about kids who show up out of nowhere knocking on doors and windows with one terrifying feature. Their eyes are completely black, no whites at all, just like deep, dark pools you could get lost in. These eerie tales started popping up in the late 90s, with people sharing their bone-chilling encounters with these mysterious children. Imagine hearing a knock, opening your door and finding a couple of kids standing there in the dead of night, asking to come in. But when you get a good look at their faces, their eyes are just black. It's the kind of thing that turns a normal night into something straight out of a horror movie. What's really spooky about these pictures isn't just the black eyes, it's the way these kids talk and act. They're often described as speaking in a way that's way too mature for their age, or knowing things they just shouldn't know, and they always ask to be let inside, whether it's to use the phone or just to get out of the cold. But everyone who's met them says they felt an overwhelming sense of dread, like every instinct was screaming to not let these kids in. People who've supposedly seen these black-eyed kids and shared their photos online talk about the aftermath of their encounters, like inexplicable fear, strange happenings around their homes, or just the lingering feeling of being watched. It's as if just seeing these kids, even in a photo, can leave you with a chill that's hard to shake off. The origins of the black-eyed children are a mystery wrapped in shadows. Some say they're ghosts or demons, while others think they might be aliens or some kind of hybrid creature. But one thing's for sure, the stories about them have spread like wildfire, turning them into a modern urban legend that's got people locking their doors and peering through peepholes with a bit more caution. The Dyatlov Pass Incident photos. The Dyatlov Pass incident, with its eerie and mystifying photos, paints a chilling narrative of the tragic fate that befell 9 hikers in Russia's Ural Mountains in 1959. These images, fraught with silent testimonies and unsettling details, plunge us into the heart of the mystery. One of the most haunting photos captures the hiker's tent, eerily abandoned and half buried in snow, its fabric torn open from the inside. This particular image evokes a palpable sense of panic, suggesting a desperate escape from an unseen terror lurking within the icy wilderness. The fabric's jagged edges tell a story of urgency, of a flight so frantic that the hikers couldn't spare a moment to exit through the tent's entrance. The most disturbing images, however, are those of the hikers themselves. In one, a body is found face down in the snow, creating a harrowing scene that raises more questions than it answers. The positioning of the body, the lack of sufficient clothing, and the solitary figure against the snow's expanse evoke a sense of vulnerability and unanswered desperation. Another photo shows a group of bodies found together in what appears to be their final moments. The image is unsettling, not only for the tragedy it represents, but also for the peacefulness with which the bodies seem to lay, juxtaposed against the violent circumstances suggested by their injuries and the state of their campsite. This particular photo, with its eerie calmness amidst signs of chaos, adds a profound layer of mystery to the incident. Perhaps most perplexing are the images that hint at the inexplicable conditions of some bodies, such as one with a missing tongue, and others with signs of severe internal trauma but no external marks. These details, captured in the grim stillness of post-mortem photographs, fuel speculation and theories ranging from the plausible to the fantastical, the expressionless. We're at the bottom of the iceberg now, with images so disturbing that they'll haunt you for days to come. Get ready for a story that'll make your skin crawl. Picture this: a hospital in 1972 where everything's normal until a figure walks in unlike anything you've ever seen. This isn't your regular patient. This is the Expressionless, a character straight out of a chilling urban legend that's been freaking people out for years. This figure, a woman, walks into the hospital covered in blood, but that's not even the half of it. What's truly terrifying is her face, or rather, the mask that looks like a mannequin's face she's wearing. It's completely blank, no expression, nothing. just imagine the eerie, emotionless face of a mannequin, but on a living, moving person. The story goes that the hospital staff were frozen in shock. Who wouldn't be? This woman, or whatever she was, didn't say a word, just stood there, making everyone around her feel a cold dread they couldn't shake off. When the doctors tried to help her, things took a turn for the worse. She lashed out, showing strength that seemed impossible for a person in her condition. But here's where it gets even more bizarre. They say she had something in her mouth, something so strange and unsettling that it left the nurses and doctors in disbelief. It was a kitten's head, of all things. How or why it was there, no one could say. The legend of the expressionless doesn't end there. After a terrifying confrontation where she supposedly attacked a doctor, she just vanished. No one saw her leave, she was just gone, leaving behind a trail of questions and a hospital full of petrified people. People who've heard the story or seen the images that go along with it can't help but feel a shiver down their spine. There's something deeply unsettling about a figure that looks human but shows no emotion, no sign of life in their eyes. It taps into a deep fear, the uncanny valley, where something is just off enough to be terrifying. Despite being an urban legend, the story of the expressionless has made its rounds, sticking in the minds of those who've come across it. It's the kind of tale that makes you look over your shoulder, that makes the shadows seem darker and the world a little less familiar. Tara Calico Polaroid. In the world of unsolved mysteries, few images have stirred as much shock and intrigue as the Tara Calico Polaroid. Discovered in a parking lot in 1989, this single Polaroid photo opened a chilling chapter in the story of Tara Calico's disappearance. Tara, a 19-year-old from New Mexico, vanished while out on a bike ride in 1988, and what followed was a tale straight out of a crime thriller. The Polaroid itself is deeply unsettling. It shows a young woman and a boy, both bound and gagged, lying in what appears to be the back of a van. The woman's eyes are wide with fear, a haunting image that strikes a chord of deep unease in anyone who sees it. The boy, too, looks terrified, adding to the eerie atmosphere of the photo. There's something about their expressions, the way they seem to silently scream for help, that's incredibly disturbing. The discovery of this photo led to a whirlwind of speculation and investigation, as many believed the woman in the picture to be Tara Calico. This connection added a layer of tragic urgency to the image, turning it from a mysterious Polaroid into a potential clue in a heart-wrenching case. The similarities between Tara and the woman in the photo were striking, but despite extensive investigations, the identity of the people in the picture couldn't be conclusively proven. People who've seen the Polaroid often talk about how it stayed with them long after, the haunting expressions of the woman and the boy etched in their memory. It's the kind of image that doesn't just shock you with its content, but also with the heartbreaking story it might represent. To this day, the Tara Calico Polaroid remains a mystery. No definitive conclusions have been drawn about the identities of the people in the photo or their fate. Tara's disappearance continues to be an unsolved case, and the Polaroid is a haunting reminder of the unknowns that still surround it. The Amityville Ghost Boy picture. The Amityville Ghost Boy photo is one of those images that once you see, you can't unsee. It comes from the infamous Amityville house, a place that's said to be haunted due to a tragic and violent past. This particular photo adds a chilling chapter to the already spooky story of the house. The picture was taken inside the Amityville house, a place where a horrific crime took place, leading many to believe it's cursed or haunted. The photo was supposed to be just another shot of the interior, but what it captured was far from ordinary. In the frame, you see what looks like a young boy peering out from one of the doorways. But it's not just any boy. This figure has an eerie glow in his eyes, making him look otherworldly. The eyes are what really get to you. They seem to glow with an unnatural light, staring straight into the camera as if the boy knows he's being watched. It's this intense, almost accusatory gaze that sends shivers down your spine. The rest of the image has a shadowy, ambiguous quality, but the boy and his glowing eyes are crystal clear, creating a stark, haunting contrast. The origins of this photo add to its mystery. It was taken during an investigation of the Amityville house, a place already shrouded in dark tales and rumors of paranormal activity. The house became infamous after a family was brutally murdered there, and subsequent residents reported strange and terrifying occurrences, from unexplained noises to ghostly apparitions. People who've seen the Amityville Ghost Boy photo often talk about the uneasy feeling it gives them. There's something deeply unsettling about the image, especially when you know the tragic history of the house where it was taken. It makes you wonder about the stories and spirits that might linger in a place marked by such violence and sorrow. The photo has become a key piece of evidence for those who believe in the paranormal, a haunting image that seems to offer a glimpse into the unknown. Skeptics, on the other hand, search for logical explanations, from tricks of the light to simple hoaxes. But no matter what you believe, the image of the Amityville Ghost Boy with his glowing eyes and silent stare is hard to shake off. As we surface from the depths of the unsettling image's iceberg, we're left with haunting echoes of the stories behind these 20 chilling images. Each one a window into the unknown, sending chills down our spines. Remember, some mysteries remain unsolved, lingering in the shadows, waiting to be explored. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you.